Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, bet. I just had to make sure my mic been tripping lately on
Oh, you
everything,
good?
so I
Hey,
had to
no,
make sure everything was working.
that's why to be honest, that's why I actually stopped using like my mic and my headphones and stuff because they used to always glitch during interviews. So I just freestyle it, man. I just use the audio and the regular stuff on the computer.
Oh no, yeah. I see mine is kind of different. You are you on a laptop?
Yeah, I'm on the laptop right now.
See, I have a desktop, so it's kind of different. So I mean, I could use my camera and it kind of
Okay.
picks up my audio really well, but
Okay.
I just know like if I gotta hear you, I know I need my headset more than anything. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I see you doing your. How many interviews have you done so far?
So I've done interviews with people. I've done maybe like five-ish, six-ish.
Okay.
And then I did 11 episodes already, but some of them been by myself. A couple of them been by myself, but like five or six have been like with other people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it what you think is easier to do it by yourself, or is it easier with having people like the interview and stuff?
Um, Honestly, I find enjoying both. I feel like at first, when I first did it with people, because Eli was the first one to go, and
Mm.
I was like, okay, I can do this. You know what I mean? It's good. But then when I went by myself, I'm like, all right, this is another little wave now. Like
Mm.
I feel like it was a different connection that I had to bring in a different field that I think I had to produce out there when I was by myself. But with others, it kind of like you really could be you, but like by yourself, like you really could be you, but like it's still like I still get nervous just going by myself. But
Yeah.
I find it easier, like I don't know. I think they're both pretty easy now since I've been doing it for like a couple episodes, either by myself or with people. So
Gotcha. All right, but before we go too far, just tell us who you are. Tell us who you are, what people know you for, and
mhm.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, well, my name is Quin Blanding. I'm from Virginia Beach, born and raised. A lot of people know me for my athletic ability on the field, from going from Wolfpack to Bayside, to the University of Virginia, and then now being in the NFL. A little bit about me. It's just I've always been around sports. My family is a big time people around the way. A lot of my brothers played, my father played, my uncles played, my cousins played, and we're just one big family of sports, athletics, and that's what runs in our blood. Um, and it just we take pride in where we're from, and I take pride of being from Virginia Beach. I take pride of being from the 7-5, and a lot of y'all know that because that's just what I do, and I've always supported, represent people from there, and I carry the world on my shoulders, especially with y'all behind me. So that's
Right.
a little bit about me.
Gotcha. So I know you say your family, of course. Like I know your family, your
Yeah.
dad and all that. So
Mhm.
of course I know you guys are big into sports. But when exactly did you start playing football? Like when did you start playing football?
Uh, well, they said like there's baby pictures of me, like when I'm just laying on the ground and there's a football just in front of me. But I started when I was 4. I've always been the like kind of like the tallest kid in a sense and like the biggest kid. So I started when I was like 4 years old and I just never looked back.
Mhm. Were you a natural? Like, were you good from the start? Because like with them genes, with
Nah,
your dad being the
yeah.
man and your brother and all them, were you good from the start, or did you have that transition phase like any other young kid?
Which is crazy. I was just a natural. I was natural at all sports. I mean, I played football, soccer, baseball. I done played it all. If it was a sport out there, they put me in it, and I was just a natural at playing. So I think it just came natural to me. But a lot of people like I started at running back, like my brothers and all them, but I was actually a quarterback. I wasn't even a running back like them. And I played quarterback. So it was different, but I had that baseball experience behind me and I knew how to throw. And so I wasn't just your traditional running back like, my brothers and my dad and them where I was actually a quarterback. And it was just funny to think about it now that like they played running back. I mean, of course they probably played quarterback, but I played quarterback for a while and they were just strictly running back. And You know, they play defense as well. My dad showed me, actually, I used to have the tape of my dad. He used to play safety, actually. And like a lot of people don't know that. They just thought he was just a good running back. But my dad was actually a all right safety too. So it's kind of funny to see it.
Yeah, he played at Bayside too, right?
He played
Yeah.
at Bayside. My brothers played at Kentsville. And so that's how it is.
Got you. So were you like you were you a because you said you can throw, you play baseball, but you know, most of the time at that level it's more so about just getting your best athletes, just touching the ball as many times as possible. Do you think that was the case, or he was really out there slinging the rock?
No, I was out there slinging it. Like I was out there throwing dimes out there. A lot of people people used to get mad because like no one knew because I was the youngest on the team. Like so when I started, I played like with my dad 1 year and Dietrich and all them for like 1 year because I just outgrew and I wasn't gonna make weight. And that's when I really started playing quarterback. And you know, we went and just was having a ball with each other, you know, with all my cousins were on the team and I was out there dotting throws, and then I got up to the upper level with Lily and Pig and them, and I'm like, yeah, I really had to start throwing because, you know, a lot of those guys are older. A lot of those guys knew a lot more. You know, they're going to bring a little more defenses at me, and it didn't matter. I was out there dotting things up with them receivers I had out there because everybody, that was the era of like, you know, Tim Tebow was out. You know, we used to run, but I was a runner too, though. Don't get me wrong. I was running the ball, but I could really throw the ball. It wasn't just they just needed the best player on the field. No, I could really throw.
Gotcha. So who was during those early days when you first started? Like I know your dad was a big influence, but who else like as far as your coaches? Who else were big influences on you?
I mean, shoot, we had my dad, Dietrich, Claude, we had Lily, we had Pig, even though they weren't coaching me yet. I mean, just that whole organization of those coaches, like they were just amazing. You know what I mean? They just kept me inspired and the biggest thing I think it would just be like my family was like on the team with me. Like majority of my cousins, we played together. So it was like, shoot, you can't beat that right now. Like you having fun, you playing with your dad, you playing with your cousins, and like it was just a great feeling to go out there. And it just really kind of kept me motivated and kept me influenced to keep going and keep playing this game.
Yeah. Who were some of the guys you played with back then? Like, is there anybody that will like, you know, that we'll know or that I've covered in the past?
Um, I mean, Tyrion Land. I mean, I don't know if you covered him, but I mean, I know you probably know him. But I mean, he was a football player, basketball star. Quin Edwards went to Green Run, CNU, Virginia State, played ball. Giovanni Simmons went to school with me at UVA.
Had him at Ocean Lakes. Man,
Yep, had Ocean Lakes as well. Yep, he went to Ocean Lakes. Lebe, you know, Lebe went to Green Run. You know, he played football, but you know, he was a basketball star as well.
Yeah, he was like one of those first guys at Green Run that you know really turned up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's plenty more, but I mean, it was just all family, and that's what just made it fun. You know what I mean? That we could just ball out with each other and just we were young too, and we just didn't care. We just wanted to play, and that's what made it special.
This was around the time when like AYL first started to like pop, right?
Yeah, so the first year I think AYF they were the Nighthawks. I couldn't play. I had broke my collarbone the year like that year, and so I had to go back and play another year of flag. And that John was I was out there torching people on flag that year. And then the next year when I went back over, we became Wolfpack again. And then that's when like AYF started like for sure.
Yeah. So when did you like being able to play the AYF level? When did you kind of realize like, you know what, I might can do this on a high school, you know, and maybe the college level as well, like as far as dominate?
Well, see, because like I told you, I played 1 year with my dad in them. That was like the first year that like AYF was out, and like I played with my dad in them. And so I was like, bet. I was like, all right, we could do this. You know, we talking trash. You know, to the the Campostella Vikings. You know, the Titans and all them. So we, they have ballers over there too. Like, you know what I mean. So I'm like, all right. But then like when I went with Lily and Pig and them, and I was playing up age, so I was playing like junior midget. That was like 14, 15-year-olds basically. And I'm like 12, 11, and I'm playing with them. So I'm like, yo, and I'm out here torching these dudes. I'm like, yeah, I already know what time it is. And then when we went to Florida for nationals,
Mm.
there's teams from all over. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm out there giving them boys work and getting busy on them. And these people really like, they don't know us, but like we bring in crowds to watch us play.
Mm.
Like teams, they wanted to stop and watch us play because they knew we was about business and we was putting on shows for people.
Mm.
Then I was like, all right, I know I could do it now. But I really knew when I played like 15 unlimited with Lily and them.
Mm.
Like, I'm telling you, they had dudes. I'm trying to tell you, they had dudes that was in high school playing on some of these teams we was playing against. And I was just like, I'm just out here just being me. I'm out here just
Yeah.
doing what I do best. And I was like, you know what? This is me. Like, I
Yeah.
know I can do this for the rest of my life.
I remember seeing you at the NUC camp. I want to say it may have been your eighth going into your freshman year because you was like
I think
14.
I think it was eighth grade year. My eighth grade, it was like the eighth man. Yeah. At I forgot where we were at, but I know
It was
exactly.
in Hampton because my brother was
Mm-hmm.
there. Andrew Brown was there. I remember seeing you and
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Brown. That was my
Yep.
first time seeing you, and I was talking to my dad, and I was like, man, that kid is good. Because it wasn't even that. Like I didn't see you a lot, but I saw the way that you competed in the one
Yeah.
drill I saw you in. I was like, you know what, that kid gonna be good.
Oh yeah,
And lo and
absolutely.
behold, number one, in the country, and
Absolutely.
just
Absolutely. Like
just like that. Go ahead. I'm
it's
sorry.
fun. It's fun. Like I remember that camp too, because one of my good friends actually was in it now, well, that I know now. Tim Harris was actually there as
Mm,
well.
yep.
And it was crazy because we did a drill together and like we were just locking up stuff because we did like a 2-on-2 drill together. And I didn't know Tim at the time because Tim was from Richmond. I didn't know him. And we were just like, shoot, he was the best one there. I was the best one there. So I was like, bro, let's just lock up together. He was like, let's do it. And we just did it. And then out of nowhere, we became friends. And then, shoot, we ended up at Virginia together. So it's funny to think about that.
Yeah. And it's crazy because Tim actually got MVP at the camp, right? He got
Yeah.
MVP at that camp. Yeah.
Yeah. He of his age. And then I was like the eighth grade, like the younger age. And then
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was fun though.
Yeah. And then Andrew Brown was there.
Mm-hmm.
All of you guys ended up at school together.
Yeah, it's crazy because Smoke was there.
Yeah.
Turtle and all of them was everyone was there. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the transition like going from that, the kid that dominated the youth level to now you're at Bayside, your dad's old school, you're playing with Coach Moore, a legendary coach, and
Yeah.
what was that like?
It was fun. The transition I would definitely say was a little different. Because there's more scheme coming involved and a lot more IQ behind it instead of you just go out there and it's not many quarterbacks in the youth league that can really throw.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not many that are going to do anything different than what you kind of play on Madden in a sense. But going into high school, it was definitely kind of like the first couple of weeks. I mean, it wasn't challenging because I'm a high competitor. I went in with guys like Henry was there, Coop was there, Trey was there, Darion and all those guys were there. So I mean, I grew up watching these guys, and like these guys knew who I was as well because they watched me play too because I was under them, but they kind of made it a lot easier for me going in and understanding what's going on. And you know what I mean? So it wasn't a much transition for me because I had those guys, and then I just love the game so much. I study football on Sundays and see what they do and watch how they play the game. So it kind of like just my football mentality and my athletic ability and how competitive I was really kind of kept me still being at a high level, and the transition wasn't that bad.
You guys had a lot of talent during those years
Yeah.
at Bayside. Like I said, you had Coop. I mean, you can
Yeah.
run down a guy, Trey Nicholson. Even the
Literally.
quarterback. What was the quarterback's name? I cannot think of his name.
Deion Stitt.
Deion Stitt. I
Mm-hmm.
remember from basketball. But
Yeah.
what was it like, man? Because that was around the time Oscar Smith was, J.C. Coleman was there. They was going to state after state after state.
I beat Oscar Smith my freshman year for I think the quarterfinals or one of the finals so this is how it all started, right? We were, passing. That's when passingly was big.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it was big at like Ocean Lakes and, Smith and like Bayside, we were always there. But the thing was we were never allowed to play each other. They didn't want us to play each other. And so we used to like sometimes go to their field when they was playing, and we used to just talk junk. Like, because they used to have two fields at Ocean Lakes, because it was the one they used to be at the school, and then it was back like at the park, like past the school. I don't like right by that little, I forgot the little construction site right there. There's a field right there that some teams used to go on and play on too before they just merged everything to the one field. And so when they were up there, sometimes we used to just go over there and mess with them. We used to like play us, and like they never let us play them just because like they knew we was just going to talk junk and people probably start fighting. And so that year when I was going into ninth grade, we was just out there and we was just talking junk to Smith. They was like, yeah, you know, because normally like when I played, I mean, I played them every year in the playoffs pretty much, but I was like, you know, like you said, they were going back to back to back and all this. So we was like, that's all we wanted. We didn't want nobody else but Smith. So we talking crazy to Smith. They talking crazy back. So we was like, all right. And then, you know, we having a great year that year. We get to the playoff times, and I think they were like the second game to play in the playoffs. They was like, if we win this game, we got Smith. Whew, boy. When I tell you that might have been the craziest game I've been a part of, it was just amazing. You know, like you said, they've been back to back, but you know, I respect those guys that, you know, came from that program. You know, the coaches there were, you know, phenomenal because they did what they did here in that area for Oscar Smith. But I still take Bayside over anybody. I don't care what they tell me.
So what was it like when you finally got a chance to beat them, you know, in the playoffs? What was that feeling like?
It was amazing because, like you said, it was hyped up from summertime. Like we went all the way from summer to like November, December-ish time. Like you just couldn't beat it. And like it was just so much fun. It was just so much energy. It was just like once we like won and raised that trophy at the end, it felt so much better because we knew like Smith was that team and like Smith were them dudes. So we just had to go out there and just ball, and it was just fun. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things to do with your brothers, especially, you know, like I keep saying, it was hyped up. Like we were talking crazy to each other. So, you know, it's nothing better feeling than backing up what you was talking.
Do you feel like, because I know you pay attention to what goes on in the area now with high school, do you feel like the rivalries and the level of competition is the same as it was?
Absolutely not. Not at all. Like, not at all. And, you know, I talk about this all the time. Like, you know, credit to those guys. I follow all those guys that come back, that, you know, come from that area, you know. And the thing is about me, I don't care where they go to school, as long as they're getting an education and, you know, playing the game that they love. So I still support those guys, and I love those guys. And, you know, those guys always know they can come reach out to me, talk to me whenever they need me. But I think it's soft, honestly, to be honest with you. I really think it's soft. Like
soft with a capital T.
Yeah, like it's like it's like, yeah, y'all can be cool and buddy, but like it's too much hype for like, oh, I'm gonna just post it on social media. No, like we don't do that. We didn't do that. Like we gonna talk junk to your face. It didn't go prove it on the field. But now it's just like everyone just too buddy now. Like it was times like when I used to play like Quin and Tyrion and all them, like we didn't go to the same school, but you know, when those weeks came, I didn't talk to those dudes. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want nothing to do with you right now. Like, yeah, we family, but on Friday, we going to war against each other.
Right.
Like, I don't care what you do. I'm trying to beat up on you, dog. Like, I don't care. Yeah. Like, we family, but no, it's too buddy now. Like, it's too soft. Yeah, after the game, yeah, y'all can be cool, top it up, you know, talk, but it's just too buddy and soft now. Like, it ain't no real, like, I don't feel like no one really wants to compete. Like, I feel like
this is my thing. It's just my theory. You know how you, like you say, your dad played at Bayside and your family played at Bayside and stuff like that. I don't feel like that goes on anymore. Like a lot of these kids, they're moving so much and playing for so many different coaches. Like they don't have any they don't have any, you know what I'm saying? Like
They don't.
feelings towards any kind. They don't have that kind of pride in the program. So it's like, man, we win or lose. I'm just trying to get
Yeah.
my scholarship. I ain't thinking about
Yeah,
that.
that's it. But and that's the sad part. Like, I mean, yeah, you want to get scholarships, you want to, be able to set you up for the long run, but
Mhm.
bro, you got to be ready to compete because once you get to college, it's a different level. Like, you stuck unless into the transfer portal, and that's a whole different story. But it's not competitive as it is. Like I watch teams like I be on YouTube watching other schools playing stuff from like different areas, and they be getting after it. I'm like,
Mhm.
man, this how we were back in the day. We used to just didn't care. We talked junk. We didn't care if his cameras was on us. We now it's just like they just want to dance and just post
Yeah.
pictures and I got this many offers. I got this many offers. Nah, man, it ain't even about offers no more. Like when I played, like I had plenty of offers, but it was just like I just want to play. I just want to play next week. Like I'm ready to play next week. I'm ready to go. I didn't care what team we was playing.
Mhm.
Like I don't care if we was playing PA when PA wasn't good. I didn't care if we was playing Tallwood, Kansas. It didn't matter who we were playing. If it was Ocean Lake, it didn't matter.
Mhm.
I was ready to kill somebody.
Right.
Now it's just like they want to post each other together. Then oh yeah, I support you, bro. Have a good. No, I ain't telling you have a good game until after the game.
That's right. So go back to your own high school career, man. At what point, because I know you ended up being, number one in the country.
Mhm.
At what point did you gain that, that elusive 5-star? It was like, all right, I'm the top dog in the country now.
Um, I mean, shoot, when I first got into high school, I knew I was legit. Like I knew I was like that dude. And then I was like, you know what? I went to all these camps. Like I'm outperforming people, like top people that were in classes above me.
Mhm.
And so I just knew then like it wasn't nobody better than me. Like I've been to all the camps where all the people that had other sites had people above me,
Mhm.
outshine these people. And so I knew then like I was legit. But I remember one time, and a lot of people don't know this story, like when 7-on-7, like the travel 7-on-7 started.
Mhm.
I was with Alex and Dave and them, and Lily was like, yeah, this is when I was just going into high school.
Mhm.
My ninth grade year, they was like, yeah, come on, we're going to this tournament, blah blah. I think it was in New Jersey or somewhere. We was somewhere. I was like, bet. So we hop in a car, we're driving. So the first time I get in, this is before we became the Breds.
Okay.
I get in, they was just like, I forgot what happened, somebody was getting bombed on. So they just threw me in, but I went in at nickel. I wasn't even playing safety. I was at nickel. And the first person I ever checked in my whole life out there was Stephon Diggs. Like,
Man.
this is Stephon Diggs in high school. Like,
Yeah.
legit Stephon. I mean, he's still legit, don't get me wrong. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm running with him. I mean, of course, he's a little faster than me, but I'm still running with him. I'm in good position. And like, back in, they taught you to hand check, keep them, slow them down, so I'm hand checking them a little bit. I'm getting in good position.
Mhm.
And he got me one good time with a hand check, like, and he slapped my hand back with me. Cause that's how good receivers are gonna play you too. And so at the end of the play, he didn't catch the ball. It wasn't even thrown to him, but he didn't catch the ball. It was thrown somewhere else. So I was kind of hyped. I didn't know, dude, I didn't know who it was until I came over to the sideline. But I came over to the sideline and I looked at my glove. Two of my fingers, like from the gloves, was ripped off. I
Ooh.
said, yeah. I was like, and they was like, yeah, you know who that was? I was like, no, I didn't know who that was. Like, I didn't care either. Like,
Mhm.
then so, we get in the car. It was like, that was Stephon Diggs. I was like, who is that? I looked him up. I said, oh, this is him? I said, oh yeah, I know I'm gonna be good. Because if I went out there and at least covered him, not in the sense of saying, oh, I locked him down, or I did, no, I'm not saying none of that. But if I can run with him and see this now, oh, I know it. I'm gonna be at the top no matter what.
Mhm.
So
So who
it just at that moment.
so who were some of the other guys, like other than Stephon? Who were some of the other guys you remember like competing against?
Shoot, I I competed against all of them, really. Literally all of them. Because I've been to so many camps, because I've always somehow got invited to upper classes camps. So I used to go to camps with Smoke in them, and I used to be in his class, with Derrick Henry and all them dudes. And I just been through so many people. Like it's crazy.
So talk about some of, well, no, we already did that. I know you had a chance to go to the Nike opening as well and the Under Armour game. How was that experience as somebody from Virginia Beach having a chance to, go to the opening and compete in the Under Armour game?
So I think the opening, because I went 2 years in a row. It was like one of like the big deals because I like went 2 years in a row. Because like I said, I played a year up with Smoking them, and then I went for my class. So it was fun. Being a kid from Virginia, the good thing about it is I was up there with Smoke. And so, I had someone, to know and, to be around. But I think going to the opening, I think that was like me and Smoke's like first time on a plane, like flying somewhere. Because normally we just drive. And then we flew to Oregon. We're going to Oregon? Like, nah. But it was just amazing, like, to really go out there and just put on where you're from. Like, that was just the biggest accomplishment for me, that I could travel the world playing football and showing that, like, Virginia's like that. Like, we got dudes, like, because, a lot of people only just associate, Virginia, just strictly Vic, AI and, Aaron Brooks and all those guys. But, like, this young class is, we like that too now. Like, we going to keep putting on Virginia for the map because people think it's just soft out here, because we
country boys.
Yeah, because they don't know how to associate us yet, because they don't know. They be like, oh, you not really from the South. I mean, we don't claim the South. Oh, y'all in the North, but nah, we don't claim the North either. But like we from the 7-5, and like people don't understand that. But it was just great going out there and just putting on, for the city. But more importantly, just going out there and just showing that, like, I'm like that. Like, I'm out there proving that, like, I can play this game at a high level, and I'm competing with the best guys around the world that you say, and I'm going out there and just balling.
Right. And I know you say you had a lot of offers, highly recruited, number one safety in the country, one of the top prospects in the country. What made you eventually choose UVA?
What really made me choose it was just, I had all my guys from back home. I used to talk to those guys all the time, and, we just wanted to change the culture. Virginia at one point, back in the day, used to be a top 10 school and, coming into the polls every year. And, they used to ball every year. And, I wanted to have that feeling again. It's nothing like going to a school, in your hometown, in your home state, and just balling and putting back on for Virginia. I mean, I know we have Virginia Tech, but just at the time, I mean, Virginia Tech was Virginia Tech already. They already been established. They've already been there. You know what I mean? But I wanted to put Virginia back on because, like, a lot of people don't know, like, yeah, Virginia Tech is a school in Virginia. But, like, if you think about it, if you go to the University of something, that's the actual state school. So I wanted to go to the state school and really put on. But, it was just, I mean, it was mainly home for me, you know what I mean? And just really putting on and doing it with my brothers and changing the culture, because that's what it's all about. I could have went anywhere. Like you said, I was highly recruited, but it was nothing like going and playing from home and changing the culture.
Yeah. Who were some of your other finalists?
So it was between Ohio State and Michigan.
Gotcha. Michigan. Yeah. Michigan.
Yeah.
DBU. That's like DBU used to be. I don't know what they call it these days.
I don't know what they call it either, but nah. Yeah, it was cool because the recruiter for Michigan, he low key looked like my bigger brother, like low key, like we looked alike, but he was just really cool, and like the coaching staff there at Michigan at the time was dope, and I was just like, shoot, I could see myself playing like this, you know what I mean? And then Ohio State, it's just Ohio State. But they messed me up when they said, yeah, we run a 3-safety system. I said, well, all right, hold on. If I'm smart now, I'm going to do the math. So that means 2 safeties play in the box, 1 safety just us as a safety.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I don't even know. Like I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", I'm like 200 plus pounds, you know what I mean? I'm not slow, but I'm like, all right, y'all might try to put me in a box where, I can show all my skill sets. So I was like, nah, I can't do that. So it was just like, Virginia it was just right there for me.
Did as far as early playing time or anything like that, did they have anything to do with your decision? I
I
I
mean,
was at a school like Ohio State, they get, top kids year in and year out, and UVA ain't.
yeah, I mean, anywhere I was talking to was basically saying, early starting time anyways, you know what I mean? Not to be like cocky or anything, but that's just what it was. I mean, only school probably wasn't saying that was Alabama, you know what I mean? Because he just keeps it real. I mean, Urban Meyer kept it real too, but I mean, that's what he told me, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't even think about starting time because anywhere I'd have went, I knew I would have started because I knew the work I was going to put in. I knew the level of, IQ I have for this game was it was going to outshine anybody.
Yeah. So you get the UVA freshman year, set the freshman record. How did that feel? What was it, Ahmad Brooks? You broke Ahmad Brooks' freshman record. How did that feel?
It was great. It was, I used to, like I said, I watched them, but I didn't watch them. You know what I mean? Because, growing up, it was a lot of Florida State, Miami, watching those guys. And then, Virginia was there. But, once I started getting recruited by Virginia and just had a feeling I was going to go there, I used to watch the games. I used to go back and watch tapes of them. I used to watch Anthony Poindexter a lot that went there, a great NFL player, great college player, great coach now. And I just was like, man, I'm trying to ball like this. Like I'm trying to just have fun and just go out there and really make a name for myself. Cause a lot of people was like, oh, a lot of people was getting put over me. Like it was like, oh, he really should have been a 5-star. Oh, he's gonna be a bust. Oh, he not gonna really do nothing. He just, he lived up to the hype of, majority of 5-stars, that really went to school because a lot of them were busts, and that's what it was. But right. I was like, you know what? I'm not about to make that my name. Like they're not about to try to put a bust by my name. And so I just went out there and balled, and I was like, shoot, I broke the record for, like tackles for a freshman. And, I was on all these All-American teams, and I was just like, won the defense rookie of the year in the ACC. And I'm just like, yo, this is real. And it was just an amazing feeling, just to really be like, I put in the work and I ain't no bust. Like, and it kept going.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. You talk about as a freshman, man, you just came in, not even broke the UVA record, but you led all the freshmen in the country in tackles. Like I think you had like buck 23 or something like that.
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy, man, for a freshman to average over 10 tackles a game as a freshman. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty dope.
When you started off right.
How many you have your first game?
I don't think I had many my first game. I think I probably had like 6 or something my first game. We played UCLA. I had I had a couple good tackles, about 6. But then after that, it just kept growing and growing and growing. Shoot, you don't get to 100 by just getting 6 tackles a game.
Right. See, but another thing people may not realize, if your safety is getting a lot of tackles, that means other people ain't getting a lot of tackles, like your linebackers. And that's nothing against you, but it's like Dexter Reed when he was getting like 130 tackles with UNC, but nobody else was, doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like we were bad. It's just I just had a knack for the ball. Like wherever the ball was, I was. And so sometimes, it got through, but that's my job as a safety. Like if it break through, you better not let them score. Like that's just what it is and just how the game is played. So like sometimes, they broke free. Trust me, sometimes I look the running back or the quarterback or whoever caught the ball dead in their eyes, and I just see everybody else behind him just running to me while he's running at me.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, it's what I do. I've been tackling all my life. I've been tackling since I was young, and that's all we preach. You know, tackle, 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 and that's just what made me so dominant at doing it. And shoot, I got records to prove it.
Facts. Who was the dude? But who got you though? Like who was that dude that got you that first year? Because like, everybody get got.
No, I got my first year at UCLA. Brent Humphreys, that's his name,
Okay.
Brent Humphreys. It was like a goal line play when he ran the ball. I mean, I hit him, but I hit him on the side, and he just still big. And I'm thinking like, at least he gonna feel it or something. I mean, I don't know if he felt it, but he got me though. I mean, he didn't like clean run me over, but it was like I hit him on the side, and he just still big, and he just still fell forward right into the end zone. I'm like, damn. I said, all right. And after that, I was just like, this shit can't happen no more. But I do remember this one though. Syracuse quarterback, I forgot his name, but he was a high jumper. He hurdled me something clean in the game. I said, but the thing was, I didn't go low. I barely even like went down. He just cleared me. I said, dang. I said, you know what? Yeah, he got me on this one. I couldn't even say nothing. Yeah, he got me. See, but that's the thing about me. Like, I don't, you know, it happens in the game. Like, I'm not one of those dudes that say, oh, I ain't never did it. Shoot. I done got ran over plenty of times, but they still coming down with me. I done been on my back while they, you know, on top, but
right.
I done got jumped over. I done got stiffed. I done got all of that. You know what I mean? And I did. But all my other tackles, you only get that one time. You only could get that one time out of me. Like, you gonna do that one time, and then after that, yeah, next time, yeah, you done for.
Yeah. What is that for a high school kid that's gonna listen to this? What do you think is gonna be the biggest shock to them when they get to that college level?
Well, it depends, honestly, because if you go to the University of Virginia, yeah, you don't get no gear. You stripped of everything, basically. So, yeah, you hurting in that aspect. But I think the biggest shock that people don't see is like, people don't care about them stars. People don't care about how many offers you had. Like, all that little pretty talk you want to talk on social media, like, oh, I'm like this, or I'm doing this. It's a guy that may be a walk-on, or a guy that's a 1-star, 2-star, 3, whatever star, you know what I mean? That's going to give you that work. Like, y'all so caught up in the hype of being on social media and posting this, you know, this workout, that workout, or you just want to do it when the cameras is on. It's those guys that are going to be there that don't got no camera in front of them that will punish you, and they don't care. So the biggest shock, you better get ready, because when you get to that next level, then all that pretty stuff go out the door. like what y'all think it is, it's not, but that's what the game is becoming. Like, everyone just want to be pretty. Like, it ain't, you know, everyone want to be hyped up, and, you know, but it comes to the people that's higher than them. You know, they see them doing it, so they think they can do it. And I tell people all the time, I'm a ball player. I don't care about none of that. Just put me on the field. I make plays. That's me. I don't need none of the cameras and stuff. I just play ball.
But see, you know what? When you were in high school, I can say it was a lot different back then. Like, as far as like, actually now, like, everybody has a camera. Everybody wants to do a journey. Like, you know, it wasn't like back then. It was a Virginia Pilot, who I started with. But now it's like everybody comes out there with a camera. So I think that's why I actually stopped doing it so much, because I feel like you're doing kids a disservice, because they're not as good as these tapes are making them out.
They're not. And it's sad, but like, you know me, like, I tell people all the time, like, look, when them cameras is off, what you gonna do? Like, when I come home and like I train sometimes, like, I tell kids, like, if you want to train with me, just come. Like, I don't care. But don't think you're gonna bring a camera guy. Don't think there's gonna be cameras rolling. Like, yeah, I'm gonna record the rep so I can send it to you, so we can fix it. We can help it. We can get you better. We're not gonna be out here just posting these videos all the time. Like, me and my trainer got tons of videos. Like, me and Smoke, we got tons of videos. Like, we got a whole album shared together that it's just videos on videos on videos, but no one sees it because we don't we don't live to the hype of, oh, this video. Like, no, like, we're working. Regardless if you think we're working, we're working.
Right.
And so, like, now, like you said, yeah, everyone has a camera, but I'm like, what is the camera gonna do? They only gonna see the camera like, oh, now I gotta look good. No, what you doing when the camera's not on? Like,
Right.
that's the most important thing. What are you doing when the camera's not on?
Looking like trash.
Literally, most
like
of them,
most of them.
most of them. And I just be feeling bad because I'm like, and it's not even their fault. It's not even their fault, and it's the people around them that's just doing it. And I'm like, all right, man, y'all, it's gonna be a real rude of awakening when they step foot in that college and that film on the sky, and that eye in the sky, they said, it don't lie.
Yeah.
It don't lie at all.
Not at all. You're gonna get called out in the meetings. The meetings probably
Yeah.
rough, huh?
Oh, what? I don't know how other places are, but at Virginia, like, I had a coach named, our defensive coordinator was Tenuta.
Okay.
Whew, boy, if you weren't tough minded, if you didn't basically get coached like how I got coached from like Lily and Pig and them, saying crazy stuff, cussing you out, talking crazy, I used to get threatened with a drop kick every day by my Uncle Frankie. I'm trying to tell you, and he used to demonstrate how he's going to kick me in my head, and his foot would literally be high with my head. I'm like, all right. But he used to say some crazy stuff to you. But
yeah,
if you weren't mentally prepared for that, like, I'm sorry, you going to have a rough time. Like, because they don't care. Like, when you get there, yeah, you could be a 5-star. Oh, yeah, they're going to tell you you're going to start. You start messing up, you're on the bench. They don't care. They're going to play who's going to win games. If you're not winning, they're not going to play you.
Right.
They don't care.
You got guys coaching for some real. This ain't high school where the coaches are $1,000, $2,000 for a season. Now, they coaching for some real money now.
Yeah, they got families. They don't care. Like, because at the end of the day, if somebody else, they're gonna recruit somebody else that's probably in your same position that might be better than you. So how you gonna act then? You gonna hit the transfer portal? Like, damn. I swear that transfer portal got me mad too.
So let's since we're on that subject, let's speak on that for a second. Like, what's your thoughts on the transfer portal?
I don't know. I don't like it. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a cop out. Mm-hmm. Like, in my opinion, I feel like it's a cop out. I mean, some people may need it. Some people, have the rights to, transfer. You know what I mean? Mm. Like, I like the guy to death, but I'm not discrediting him. But a guy like Jordan Williams, that went to Clemson, I think he's a great player. I think he was a great player at Cox. I think he was going to be a great player at Clemson. But Clemson is so hot that they get all these big guys. And I'm not saying he's probably not doing nothing in practice. I'm not saying that. He's probably dominating in practice. But them coaches know how they got to play people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, them people know. And, I happy to see him on the field, when he got in, and he would do his thing. So, and to see him transfer out to Virginia Tech, I mean, I don't care if he went to Virginia Tech, but he's still going to shine at Virginia Tech. Like, certain situations like that, that's cool. Because he wrote it out. At least I think he graduated from there and then transferred.
By now.
Yeah, I think he graduated from there and then transferred. He still got, I think, probably 2 years left and then play. But, or a year, whatever, how that works. But I feel like that's an understandable case. Mm-hmm. Like, that's cool. I respect that. That's a man that put in work. I mean, he grinded some years, but he get in, you see him make plays. But he felt like it'd be a better opportunity to really show his case somewhere else.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Right.
Now, some of these other people, they go 1 year and be like, oh, I didn't play, I didn't touch the field. Somehow, oh, coach don't like me, oh, I'm transferring. Huh? Well, all right, dog, you got me, bro. You got it, bro.
Ain't no advice to that. Ain't no advice for that, huh?
No, it ain't no advice to that. And the one thing I could probably say is you just weren't meant to be at that school. Like, a lot of people think, oh, I want to go SEC, or I want to go ACC, or I want to go. You might not be a SEC guy. You might not be.
And that's my fight pretty much every day on social media. And I tell a lot of these kids, like, look, y'all are pretty good, but you're not SEC. You're not an ACC kind of guy. Like, you might be a James Madison, which is nothing wrong with it. You may be, that may be the level for you, but you need to go to your level. Stop trying to go where your friends are going, or because you see these people on TV.
Literally. Because it's going to be embarrassing. Like, you going to get there and you going to get embarrassed. And then you going to think, oh, I'm out here balling, telling people you balling. You not balling. Because all these people got to do is post the tape and they going to see. Like, you might not be a SEC guy. Like you said, ACC, whatever, Big 12, Pac-10, whatever. Go somewhere that's at your level. Because you can go to the league from James Madison. You can go to the league from A&T. You can go to the league from your, like, not saying you're not capable of playing at these levels. Not saying that. But you just can't have in your mind that, oh, I need to go ACC, I need to go SEC to do this. Like, no. Because if you get there, you get embarrassed, then all you're going to do is, oh, I got the transfer portal. I'm good. I can transfer to somewhere else. All right. So I feel like the transfer portal is a cop-out for these people.
Yeah. You think academically, you know, going to a school like University of Virginia, like you said, top state public school, top state university, do you think that's another thing the kids don't think about when they're committing to these top schools?
Not at all. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Not at all. They don't.
Right.
Because, I mean, I thought about it, but it wasn't like in the forefront of my mind. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they got, you know, great education. Like, that wasn't in my mind per se. You know what I mean? Like, that was like a driving factor or a deal breaker. But I mean, now that I look back on it, like, I'm glad I chose it. You know what I mean? Just because of I graduated and have a degree from there. But a lot of like kids need to really think about that, because it's literally like they say, it's 1% of people that get into the league and make it. Like, you can have all the talent in the world. Shit, look at me. I have all the talent in the world. I got all the accolades. I got the IQ for the game. You can pull up my tape and watch every single game and see that I'm playing ball. I went undrafted. I'm a free agent now. I went undrafted, got cut, sat a year, made a team, practice squad all year, got cut again, and now I'm right here. You see what I'm saying? So I got a degree to back it up. I'm not saying I'm quitting football or anything, but you always got to have a plan B. Like, this football stuff don't last forever. Like, and a lot of people say, oh, that is cliche. You know, they only, you know, most NFL people last 3 to 5 years. Nah, it's true. Like, I've seen it with my own eyes. Like, people just, you know, get those credited seasons, and then after that, you know, they get their little pension and they good. Like, and keep it moving and go about their business.
How many years for NFL pension right now? How many years you need NFL pension?
I think it's 4 or 5, I think.
Gotcha. So does practice squad count, or you got to be active roster?
Active roster.
Man, you almost there. So you almost there.
I ain't no, I'm at ground zero. Ground zero. But that's what I'm saying. People don't understand. Like, people just think like, oh, I'm gonna make the league, but no, trust me.
Right.
Like, you better have a plan in place. Like, you need to go somewhere that's gonna offer you what you want. Like, granted, I went to UVA, and you know, I wanted to go in a business major, but our business school at UVA is like one of the top in the country. So it was like a long waiting list. So I was like, all right, I got to change to something else. So I'm like, what do I really like to do? And so I was like, you know what? I like helping people. So why not be a social worker? So I'm like, bet I'm going to go the social worker way. But at like a university like that, you have to go through like in the arts and science, basically, as a sociology major or a psychology major first. And then, like, if you want to further that, you have to go get your master's. You know what I mean? So you see what I'm saying? So, like, only what's stopping me from being a social worker is I don't have my master's in social work. I have a sociology degree, but I don't have my social work, you know, master's. You see what I'm saying? So, like, other schools offer just a major of social work. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to understand like where you're going and like what schools are offering you, because if you want to do something, then do it. Because if those schools don't offer it, what you gonna do? Like, you see what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of people I know that you can get a degree, but what is your degree in? Like,
See,
what is your degree gonna help you with?
Because a lot of them, especially athletes, they don't think about having to actually use the degree. They think, okay, I'm gonna be a professional athlete. I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. If that don't work, I might can go make some money overseas if I'm a basketball player, whatever. But eventually, for me not end up being a security guard in 5 years, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I really gotta get a great degree. So,
I mean, I'm not saying like, most degrees will get you in a position to have your job that is entitled in your degree. I mean, a lot of people I know that don't even use their degree and have a different type of job. You know what I mean? But it kind of still sets you up for having a job in a sense. It's not saying that you're going to have the job title that you've seen in the description that you wanted, but it can still help you lead to getting another job, probably in a different position, but you still have a good job.
Yeah. So your junior season, probably you was hot as fish grease that year. Were you top 2 in the ACC in tackles, top 10 in the NCAA, I believe. Why didn't you leave after your junior year?
So a lot of people don't know I was hurt my junior year. The first 4 games I was hurt. I had pulled my hamstring really bad in summer workouts, like the end of summer workouts. We was doing like these races we do every week or like every other week or something. And like, I'm normally in like the top 2, like in the top, like either the 1 or the 2nd, like fastest group. So I was in that fast group. I was like, I don't lose, man. I got to get out. I'm running with some fast people. So I'm like, I got to get out. I got out. Boom. I felt my hamstring like bad, but I didn't hear a pop. I didn't hear nothing crazy. But I was like, yo, this ain't right. So, this is like the end of like winter workouts going into like summer camp coming up. And I was like, bro, I don't know what's wrong with it. I just know it doesn't feel right. Like, so I'm like, all right, I got treatment all the time. It was like to the point, like I couldn't even sit on my right leg. Like I had to like have my right leg, like either hanging off the bed or I couldn't put pressure on it. It was just bad. I couldn't run. I couldn't do nothing. So I'm like, damn. I was like, all right. So all of summer camp. So I thought I was like, all right, I thought I got better, before summer camp started. I did crazy treatment. I was like, all right, I'm good. Nothing. I ran again, hurt it again. So I was like, damn, all right. So I was out all like basically summer camp. I was out. Like I had to do extra stuff on the side with like the trainers. Like, normally like if you hurt, you go with the strength coaches and you do some. Like, nah, I was with the trainers all day. I'm doing stuff to help it, strengthen it, treatment. I'm doing everything all day. So I'm like, all right. So then like the games start to come. I tried one practice to go like early in the week. So I'm like, I mean, I've been working my tail off to get better. Nothing worked. So I think, who did we play first that year? I think it was Richmond. I think we played first that year. And I think it was them, but I wasn't full go. Like I played though, but I wasn't me. Like the guy, it was a running back from Richmond, outran me and scored on me, but I couldn't run. Like I had a shot, I had a tore off shot, I had a wrap on, and I also had these things like called scuba shorts on that would like, basically I was restricted to running and really putting pressure on my hamstring. So I was hurt. Like the first 4 games, I was hurt. I played Oregon hurt. I played 4 good teams hurt. And like it kind of showed, you know what I mean? I wasn't myself. So, at that moment, they're probably like, oh, he's at his downfall now, you know what I mean? But I was hurt. And then I'm doing all these treatments. My trainers are getting certified in different things just to help my leg. I got specialists coming to work on my leg. Like I'm doing everything. I didn't practice during the week, my junior year. I practiced on Fridays when it was like a walkthrough.
Wow.
It didn't go out on Saturdays and play. I wasn't allowed to practice because they didn't want my leg to die out on me. They wanted, if I was to die out, it was going to be on the field on Saturday. So I'm like, all right, bet, cool. So the fourth game comes. Well, I think it would be the fifth game come. I got a shot in my leg, cortisone shot. It fixed everything. I don't know how it did, but it fixed everything. Fixed everything. And that was the week we were playing Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
And that was my first week back 100%. But mind you, while I was hurt, I was still averaging 10 tackles a game.
Right.
Like, I'm averaging 10 tackles a game and I'm hurt.
Right.
Like, you still see my impact. You still see my leadership on the field, even though I'm hurt. And so after I got healthy, like the rest of the season was smooth. Like, I'm balling, having fun. I'm like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? In my mind, I'm out of here. So I sent my sheet in, to the NFL to see what they say to get the grade back. And the grade was stay in school. So you only get like a 1-2 or stay in school, basically, grade. And so I'm like, stay in school. So I'm like, all right, and this is going into winter break. We go home or whatever. So I'm like, stay home. I'm like, but this is when Micah already said he's coming back, Micah Kaiser. But I'm in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking, shoot, I'm about to go. And then I get home, I'm training, I'm working out. I'm training just like, I'm normally training and getting ready to like basically say I'm going to the NFL, declare. And then I get hurt. I pull my calf training. And so I'm like, this got to be a sign or something. It's got to be a sign to telling me to come back. I'm like, God's talking to me right now. This is what it is. And so I was like, you know what? I talked to my family. I was like, it's written right there. Like, it's a sign for me to come back. And I was like, so I told my coaches, I'm like, I'm coming back. I told, I didn't declare, but it was more so that, I told them, I asked my coaches, like, can you get feedback for me? And so it was like, yeah, they gave me a list of feedback things that they wanted to see. And I was like, bet. And so I was like, you know what? I'm about to come back and prove these people wrong. If that's what they want to see, then that's what I'm going to give them. And so it was more a mentality of, I didn't come back because mainly I was really hurt my first 4 games. And then I got hurt in my workouts back home. And then it was just, I wanted to prove a point, like that you slept on me then, and then now you still sleeping on me. So I wanted to go back and really prove a point to these people. And that's what I did.
What kind of feedback did you hear back from NFL?
A lot of people, like I said, I was hurt my first 4 games. And so a lot of my top speed was reflected only off of those 4 games. Because if you watch the rest of the games, I'm running sideline to sideline with Lamar Jackson. Like, we had a perfect plan in place. Like, I'm basically, in a sense, checking him from 12 yards deep and having to run with him if he breaks type stuff.
Gotcha.
And I'm running sideline to sideline with him. You know what I mean? I'm making sure he doesn't break a 100-yard run from us. You see what I'm saying? Because it's possible.
Yeah. So that's pretty. I'm I'm not the biggest football guy, but I feel like that's pretty unique to have a safety that mirrors the quarterback.
Like, I'm mirroring him from 12, but I'm still playing in coverage. If he's going to throw, I'm in coverage. But if I feel like he's about to run, I can run 100% running sideline to sideline with him. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of feedback was, my top speed of running. They wanted to see more man coverage. And that was pretty much it. Like, it wasn't really much else they could say. You know what I mean? They love my tackling. They love all of that. They love my IQ. They love my leadership. It wasn't nothing crazy. So I'm like, all right, man coverage, top speed. Okay, bet. So I told my coaches, like, look, this is what it is. Like, put me in these situations. Because, I mean, you got to understand a lot of my situations and my defenses are schemed differently than a lot of other people. So I've had scenarios where in my defense, sometimes I'm not in man coverage. I'm not going to be the man guy. I'm the guy that has to patrol everything else behind the man people. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it was. And that's how it was schemed up. And I'm not mad at that because they put the defense, if you go back, the defense was surrounded by 3 people. My junior and senior year. Well, my junior year was surrounded by three people: our nose tackle, our middle linebacker, and our safety, which was me. So our nose tackle was Dante Wilkins, our linebacker was Micah Kaiser, and the safety was me. So in our 3-4, that was our designed around was us. Mm-hmm. So I was put in situations that were totally different than, oh, if I go somewhere else and they'd be like, oh, just play man coverage. This safety has, ours was different. Mm-hmm. Like it was schemed a certain way, which is understandable because it put me around the ball. Mm-hmm. Like it put me in places to be around the ball. Then my senior year was really around me and Micah. They still wanted me around the ball, but I told them like, look, if I got to go man coverage, I can go man coverage. That's nothing. Like, I'm not worried about that. Mm-hmm. Like I was checking people my junior year. Like I checked the big tight end from Oregon my junior year. He was a senior that year. The big, tall, 6'5", 6'6" guy. Checked him man to man. Didn't catch a ball on me. I done did it all.
I remember that game. I was watching that game too.
You see what I'm saying? I did it all, but I was hurt. You see what I'm saying? But I checked him. He didn't catch a ball on me. And I'm still talking junk. I got the play on my tape where like I pushed him at the end of the play. He got in my face. I'm back in his face. Like you're not going to see me lacking. Mm-hmm. But I was like, you know what? It is what it is. So my senior year, I was like, shoot, they want to see top speed. I'm out here running top speed. Mm-hmm. They want to see man coverage. They put me in scenarios in man coverage. I'm checking people. There's a play on my tape. I think my junior year, it was a corner blitz. I'm playing man-to-man with a wide receiver out there on the island by myself. I'm sitting there, boom, break on the ball, pass deflection. Like, what else do you want to see? You see what I'm saying? Right. So, like, that's what they wanted, and that's what I gave them.
Yeah. So your senior year, set your career high for tackles against Tech out of all people.
Yeah, I said that.
And then you broke the school record.
Broke the school record. Yes, I did.
Over 20-some years that record has stood.
Yeah, and it's going to take a minute to get broken again.
Did you have a chance to talk to Jamie Sharp or anything? Like, you know?
I haven't. I really haven't. And that conversation, you know what? That's a good thing because I'm going to look forward to really, honestly, talking to him. Like, I want to see his thoughts. I want to pick his brain and see how he feels about it, you know, because I think it's dope, you know what I mean? Because like before I chose number 3, I talked to Anthony Poindexter because number 3 was a legend at UVA, and I talked to him before even wearing it, and I was like, look, you're like, I want to wear number 3, is it basically asking for a blessing, you know what I mean? But he basically told me it's not even, don't even try to live up to my hype. Don't even try to think about, what I did in this jersey. You make a name in that jersey. And once he told me that, I was like, shoot, the sky's the limit after that. And so, and I'm just glad to be in that conversation where they're like, yeah, Dex wore number 3, but you got to think about this guy Quin too now. You see what I'm saying? So it's an amazing feeling, and I definitely want to sit down with him and talk to him and, and see how he feels about, the new record leader and, right. And see how he felt when he won, he broke the record.
Right. Your senior year, that was also the year y'all beat Tech, right?
No. They beat them after. If I'd have beat Tech, boy, I'd have probably went to jail. I never beat Tech.
I think I remember you talking trash on Twitter.
Absolutely.
When they beat Tech.
Absolutely. I was talking crazy just because it's like when you go to Virginia or Virginia Tech, like, yeah, they used to beat us crazy. I mean, they was 16 years, 14, something crazy like that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a big rivalry as people would call it. You know what I mean? But to us, it was. But if you really go back and look at the scores, the one time they really, really beat us was my junior year. Every other year after that was 7 points, 3 points. It was never a blowout. Right. So it wasn't like they were just, blowing us out every year. They weren't. Not even close. Anybody can tell you that. The film doesn't lie. The stats don't lie. It was 7 or 3 points. The only time they really beat us was my junior year because we ran a dumb scheme. We're trying to run 3 quarterback system. It was dumb.
Yeah.
They really beat us.
I hate that 2 quarterback. Yeah. I feel like if you had 2, you don't got 1. You don't have 1 good quarterback.
We had 3 quarterback system going that game, and it was horrible. No one could get a rhythm. And so, it's Virginia Tech defense. Like, they're nice. Like, what do you mean? But every other game after that, like we played, it was either 3 points, 6 points. Like my senior year, it was 10-0, I think, or 10-6 or 10-3, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally. But they scored off of an interception from us, like their defense. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It won't like they were just driving and scoring on us. No, that's dead. I don't allow that. You see what I'm saying? Like
right.
if you go back, like look at our defensive stats, like no, it was 6 or 3 points or less. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That I did beat them, but that day they beat them, I was just happy for them. Because like all this, like I get the worst Virginia Tech slander in America for no reason. Like I don't even go to the school no more, and I still get the worst slander. Like
y'all broke up your group, you, Trey, all those guys. Y'all broke up that Virginia Tech pipeline. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's never really come back since then.
Listen, I don't care, but I get it the worst. Like I'm trying to tell you, if you can see the blocked people I have on my Twitter, it's nothing but Virginia Tech people. I gotta block these people because they be trying me, and I'm just like, yo, I can't get too ugly on Twitter right now on social media because then they're gonna look at me and they're gonna think something wrong with me, and then now I gotta apologize to the public. Nah, because sometimes I be ready to like, listen, just drop your location and I can just pull up or we can do whatever. You feel me? Like I got a whole, like my block list is long with Virginia Tech fans.
All Tech fans.
Yeah, all Tech fans. But it's some that are cool, some that I actually know, and they tweet me and I tweet them back because it's respect. Like it's a respect thing. Like it's cool. Like I understand. Like I never beat Virginia Tech, and that's what I stated when they first won. I stated, I'm happy for these guys, and I'm talking junk. But I said, don't get me wrong, I've never beat Virginia Tech. But they're like, and then as soon as I said that, all people just kept posting, 14 years, huh? I just said I didn't beat them.
just said that.
I just said that. So apparently you don't read. Like I acknowledge to these people, to y'all, that I never beat Tech. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. But at the end of the day I keep telling people, I said, listen, we never beat Tech, but Tech never beat me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I know once I play Tech, I outshined everybody on Tech. You feel me? It doesn't matter to me. Like, I didn't.
I think I saw a moment from, what was that, your senior year when you was going back and forth with the Tech sideline? What year was that?
I don't play that. That's dead. Don't talk crazy to me. You see what I'm saying? I was ready to fight that game.
I saw that. Yeah,
I was ready to get kicked out that game. Like, I don't think y'all understand. Like, this how bad it was that game. I'm like, it's my senior year. It's senior night. I'm gone. It don't matter win or lose this game.
Right.
I'm gone. Right. I mean, we're going bowling. It don't matter. I'm going to a bowl game. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm in the warm-ups. I warm up on the same side every week. I line up on the goal line, from like the goal line closest to the hill. Always by myself. I'm always down there. That's my area. That's where I like to go. It's peaceful. It's calm. That's where I be. So they come out. That's where they're all warming up too. I'm talking crazy over there. I'm talking crazy. And the thing is, ain't nobody saying nothing. I'm by myself over there. Yeah. Ain't nobody saying nothing to me. I'm talking crazy to these dudes, though. I'm weak. Did Giovanni come over there with me? Because, that's my cousin, and he going to ride with me. We talking crazy. We laughing in these dudes' faces. They warming up in their lines. I'm walking through their lines, warming up. They not saying nothing to me. I was ready to get kicked out that game. I was waiting for it. I went in and say one crazy thing, and I was fighting. I ain't even care at that moment. I said, at this rate, it don't even matter to me. Yeah. And so they kept talking crazy on the sideline. I'm like, yo, I'm like, all right, bet, cool, keep talking crazy. Like, you come out here, that's it. That's all you gotta do. Cross this line, and it's over for you. Come out here, it's over for you. I don't care.
And they wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't do it. You see what I'm saying? They just want to talk behind the sideline. Yeah. They got their little hype man coaches over there. I'm like, come over here, and then I'm gonna show you what's up. Yeah. I'm not gonna go to your sideline for what? You're not gonna do nothing.
Right.
Like, yeah, I think it was because, like, I forgot what happened. I think it was when what's his name? He stiffed armed me, boom, whatever, got on the ground. He was out of bounds anyways. It doesn't even matter. He didn't go nowhere after the stiff arm, but he got up talking crazy. I got in his face talking crazy on their sideline. They still ain't do nothing. So then at that rate, I was just fed up. I was like, yo, what's up? Like it don't even matter.
Okay. So what was the after your senior year, what was the pre-draft process like for you? Like once you're able to go to the combines and stuff like that.
It was fun. I mean, the Senior Bowl was fun. I balled out in the Senior Bowl as well. Showed more man coverage out there. I mean, it was fun. You know, it like the first day was kind of rough with one-on-ones just because you're coming from a different environment and different style of play where like at the 5 yards, they're throwing flags out there to get us ready. You know what I mean, to understand the game a little better. And you know, it was a quick adjustment, but after that, I was having fun. Like I was balling out there. I looked really good. Like they, it won't no way. It won't nobody better than me out there. I don't care what they tell me.
Right.
I was out there balling. I tied with the tackles that game with like 4 tackles that game. I tied with like Marcus Davenport, like that went on and became who he is now. But I'm like, shoot, went out there. We shut out Baker. Baker was having a hard time throwing on us out there. And that's what made it fun. Like we was just out there with everybody that's just like, that's the top guys in college. And we were just out there having fun as a defense. But going to the combine and stuff, it was fun. My combine experience was actually crazy though. Cause like, once again, I got hurt 2 weeks right before running. I mean, going to the combine, got hurt, hamstring again, got hurt. I really couldn't run my 40. So I ran my 40 hurt too. I stumbled, hurt, and still ran a 4.6.
Right.
Like I stumbled, hurt, and still ran a 4.6. Imagine if I didn't stumble and I wasn't hurt. I'm not saying I would have ran a 4.4 or 4.3, but I'd have ran a 4.5. Like I'd have ran a 4.5. That's easy.
Right.
I'd have ran that.
Right.
Because it was one time in the process. One time, I ran it one time. I ran a 4.4 low, like one time. That was it, one time. But everything else was a consistent 4.53, 4.55. You know what I mean? Shit, a 4.5 is fast. And so I was like, bet I can run that. I'm good. But I got hurt, stumbled, whatever. But before that, so they booked me a flight. I had booked a flight out of Richmond. Because it had been a kind of a straight shot. But at the time, it was when the nor'easter was around. And so my mom was like, let's change it to Norfolk so it won't be that bad of a drive for us, especially with like, the winds and stuff coming in. It's going to be crazy. So I get to the airport at like 4 a.m. My stuff, like I couldn't get a flight. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like I changed my flight to down here and they were like, yeah, well, what happened was like we tried to reach the card holder that purchased the flight and we couldn't reach him, so we canceled it. So I'm like, but I need to get to Indianapolis like now. And it was like, okay, well, let's see what we could do. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So I'm talking to the lady that, I called. I'm like, this was going on. And like, we got this nor'easter coming. So I try to book it here and it's just like all messed up. Cause it said that we can change the flight if we needed to. All we got to do is email the people and tell them. And we did that.
Okay.
But they didn't respond at the time. So it got canceled. So I'm like, yo, what do we do? What was going on? So I had to pay for a flight there. So I'm like, bet. So I paid for the flight. I'm like, all right, I got this flight. I'll be there as soon as possible. It's the same flight though, but I just had to pay for it. So I'm like, all right, bet. So then I get there. I'm in the gate. I'm like, all right, bet. Okay, this is just, I'm good. Everything's good. I'm going to be good. Flights start getting canceled because of the winds and all that. So I'm like, power's going out in Norfolk Airport. I'm like, bro, what's going on? I'm like, I'm calling my agent. I'm like, look, I might not get there. Like stuff is wrong right now. Like the flights are getting canceled. The nor'easter winds are coming. I'm like, all this. I'm calling the ladies from the combine. I'm like, look, this is what's going on. I'm telling everybody like everything's all messed up. So I'm like, bet, cool. So then out of nowhere, they're like, yeah, blah, blah. All the flights get canceled. Like, so I'm just sitting there like an hour goes by, nothing. Everyone's in line trying to figure out what's going on, when the next flight could be or what's going on. So nothing was happening. So we're looking at flights everywhere. to see wherever. So my mom had to take off work and we had to drive to freaking Raleigh's airport. We had to drive like 3.5 hours to put me on a flight in Raleigh so I can fly straight out there. When I tell you, I think God was talking to me at that moment and telling me something, but I didn't listen. I think this is what he was trying to tell me or something, because listen, it was crazy. Like, I was stressed that day. I was in my mind, like, I don't know what to do. I was just hurt. And then I get to the combine. I'm still like, my leg is feeling good, but it's not all the way 100%. And I'm like, I mean, they want to see me run, so I gotta run. You know what I mean? So I'm like, bet I ran a 4.6. It was people that ran slower than me and still got drafted somehow. But hey, that's neither here or there. But I'm like, yo, I don't know what it was, but it was just long. It was a long experience for me. It was draining, and it kind of hit me mentally because I knew if I'd have just did drills, I'd have been great. Like, they'd have been like, oh, he can move very well, and I'd have been like, yeah, because I could pedal. Like, I could back pedal, I can open up, I can run. I just couldn't really open up and run. You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's tough. So obviously, like you said, you went undrafted, during the draft. What was your thought process, or like when did you immediately, because I know at a certain point you have to be like, okay, do I really want to get drafted 6th, 7th round, or do I want to sign as a free agent to where I can kind of pick my team? When did your thought process kind of shift towards like the free agent status?
Shoot, honestly, to be honest, it really never shifted there.
Okay.
It was in a moment of like, I just want to see my name called. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I don't even care where it's at. Just call my name. You know what I mean? I never really shifted to like a free agent mindset because I was just like, I know I'm worthy of drafting. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, bet. Then it didn't happen. I'm like, shoot, is this it? Is this over? Like, you sure this is like the last round? Like, but then like after that, then I kind of was like, all right, now what's next type thing. You know what I mean? So I was like, I mean, free agent ain't bad at this rate, but it was just whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Was there any team that you thought would pull the trigger on you during the draft? Like, did you hear from any teams you like, you know what, I think they're gonna take me during the draft?
I heard from Buffalo a lot. Buffalo was there. Really, mainly Buffalo, for real, for real. Buffalo was the team contacting me. He was like, all right, was talking to me. So I'm thinking, shoot, I'm about to go with them. Then they pick somebody else. So I'm like, all right, bet, cool.
Right.
After that, it wasn't much.
Right. Got you. So ended up signing with Washington. What you said, Buffalo. What other teams were interested in you as a free agent other than Washington?
To be honest with you, I have no clue.
Yeah.
Like, my agent wasn't really keeping me in a loop for real, I guess. But he said Washington was the best deal. And so I was like, shoot, you know best right now. I don't really know much about this process. So I was like, all right, bet, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Right. I remember listening to your interview, just talking about that training camp up in Richmond. You said this is the business. This is how the business goes. Was it tough for you to accept that, as a young kid coming out of college?
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely tough. Because if you look at my track record, you look at the film, you look at everything I've done, you'd be like, this guy's undrafted. Like, this guy's done outperformed damn near anybody that's played the game at this moment, and like he went undrafted. So I mean, it's definitely tough, but you gotta understand it's a business. Like, it's a strict business, and they don't care. They don't care about none of that, and that's what I've came to realize now. They don't care. They want to pay and buy to hype. They don't want ball players no more.
Yeah, it's crazy because I see it with down the basketball side of things. As far as with scouting, it's all about the mixtape guys, and it's not really about guys that actually produce. It's about potential. Like, is that word potential?
It is, and that's what the business is. It's about potential and like what they can see can grow. And I think that's why like a lot of teams are sleeping on me, because like they know I have potential, but they probably just feel like he's did it already. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like he's been at the big point.
Right.
You
How
know what I
high
mean?
is your ceiling? Like
Yeah,
pretty much, right?
basically, like how
Okay.
high can he go even more? You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, or is his potential even worth it? You see what I'm saying?
right.
But a lot of other people, they're like, oh, he has potential. You know, he can keep, man, put me on the field, dog. And that's it. I do what I do on the field. Like, even in preseason games, I did what I did. Like last year with Carolina, not this year, but the previous year,
Mm-hmm.
it was games where like I played legit majority of the snaps
Mm-hmm.
and I'm balling. I don't have many MEs, you know, errors. I mean, I missed a few tackles, but I mean that comes with the game. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm balling. So like my first game first preseason game in Carolina, um, I played a little bit, played defense, special teams. I'm like, all right, bet. Next game comes, shoot, I play, I play from second quarter to fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Third game comes, I mainly play special teams because that was more when the starters came back. I played special teams mainly, played a few snaps on defense, still balling out. Fourth game, I'm damn near in the game the whole time. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, first game Chicago. I played a lot in Chicago game too. But made plays on special teams. I even go back to when I played with Washington. I mean, I didn't play. I mean, didn't play much, but when I got in, I made plays. Special teams, I'm making tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how can't you say this guy still, you know, doesn't have potential at this rate? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you see the film. I've done worked out with teams. Shoot, the Bengals one time. I worked out with the Bengals twice actually.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot, one time they told me I'm better than the players they got there now,
Right.
but they still didn't choose me. You see what I'm saying?
That's
So it's
tough,
like
man. Right.
it's a business. It all
Right.
comes down to a business and whoever wants what and what they need.
Right. Do you think with the Carolina with what's his name, Ruley, do you think with him coming in this year, you know, as a first year coach, do you think that hurt you in Carolina?
No, no, not at all. I think what hurt me is we didn't have preseason games.
Okay.
Honestly, in my opinion, because if you put me in a preseason game right now, you let me play right now, you'll see. Like you'll see what I'm about.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see that like I played the game. Like, yeah, in practice they want to do all this, you know, do this, do that in practice. I'm like, cool, coach. Yeah, I'm doing it. But like I'm not about to hit my teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not about to try to do nothing crazy. But the thing is, anybody would tell you, or the film would tell you, I thudded every practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm making contact every single practice.
Mm-hmm.
Every single practice, I'm making contact. Because that's what you want to see. All right, bet. I'm gonna show you I'm physical. I do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was a play we couldn't stop. We couldn't stop an over route all camp. I get called down and I call my call. I come down in the box. I'm playing weak hook. I pick off the over route.
Mm-hmm.
A play we couldn't stop all camp. So
Mm-hmm.
apparently, like, and they tell me I'm smart. We have quizzes and tests on these little Kahoot joints that we get graded on.
Y'all do
I'm
cahoots? I do cahoots with my elementary kids. I didn't know y'all use cahoots. I do with my elementary students.
look at
I'm a
my
fifth
face.
grade teacher.
Look at my face. We do Kahoots, man. Kahoots. I mean, them quizzes, man, boy.
That's crazy. My
We
kids hate them. My students
what?
hate those quizzes.
What? We hated them too. But like we had to do them because like they wanted to see what we knew.
Yeah.
I'm doing the Kahoots.
Right.
Like I'm literally top 3 every week.
Uh-huh.
As a big group, I'm top 5 in the whole group.
Mm.
I'm like, y'all can't tell me I'm dumb.
Right.
You can't tell me I don't know what's going on. You can't tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me none of that. Special teams, I'm passing everything. I know everything with special teams.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me that.
I think another thing is like we need more football people in football. Like it's like now it's like I'm not gonna call them nerds, but it's like numbers guys and this, that, and the third.
Analytics and all this and listen, all those people get paid to do a great job and all this, but man, if you're a football player, they know.
Right.
Like they know. Like on my exit meetings, they knew I was a football player.
Right.
Like my coach is telling me you can play on Sundays.
Right.
Like you telling me that, but then why am I not here? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all know I can play on Sundays. y'all know I know how to play this game.
Right.
Like it ain't no question. Like y'all know it.
Yeah. So when you look at a guy like Honey Badger, who probably
Mhm.
still don't get enough respect as he
He
should,
doesn't. Not
I,
at all.
and I think that's where you talk about people actually know how to identify football players instead of
Yeah.
putting these guys in this position where he need to be a cornerback, where he need to be a safety. Just let them
Mhm.
guys play football. They're football players. Let them
Yeah.
play football.
I love Honey Badger. I loved him since freaking college. Like I love watching his game. Like I love the way he plays his game. And like you said, he don't get the respect he deserves.
Right.
Like in Houston, I mean, he was still balling. He was still putting up crazy numbers in Houston. But then I think he had to get out to really expand himself. Like everyone just talks about, Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, all the just that whole offensive, style. But that defense is I mean, they have great linebackers, they have great D linemen, but with him back there, it makes the defense a lot better. Like I love watching him play on that defense, and I feel like he has the freedom to play ball. Like you said, it's like you let these people just play, like, and he just plays the game, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah. Do you think safeties overall just undervalued?
Uh, yeah, honestly, because you got to think about it. I mean, now it's like you got guys like him, you got guys like Jamal Adams, you got guys like Derwin James, Buda Baker. You got guys like that are just they just fly around. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Not saying nothing's bad about it. You know what I mean? They're great players, but a traditional guy like myself, they just want the guys that are just hype around, move around, do this, do that. I can play everywhere though. They I feel like they lost touch of what that was of a Cam Chancellor. Like it ain't too many of those no more.
Right.
Like you don't see them no more. You don't see those type of players no more. And I can do it all though. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm like a Cam Chancellor, but I can do more. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I could be in the box, I could be in the post, I could be in coverage. A lot of these people play a certain role, which is they're playing to their strengths, and it's understandable. But I feel like they just were very underrated because a lot of people don't understand. Like I can line up a whole defense
Mhm.
from D line to linebackers to the back end. I can line it up everything.
Mhm.
But in the NFL, it's mainly relied on the Mike backer, get everybody lined up, safeties or secondary, just get the calls out for the coverage. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
But me, I can line up everything. I
Right.
can I can line up the entire thing. I can blitz. I can freaking go back and cover. I can do it all. But I just feel like we're underrated because you got players that, are in the league now that are just they just fly. You know what I mean? They just
Right.
have a responsibility to just go get the ball. You know what I mean?
Basically, right. They're like
Basically.
pass rushers. Like, just
Yeah.
go sack the quarterback.
Yeah, because I mean, look at a great safety like Jamal Adams. I mean, he's a great guy, he's a great player, and I love watching him. But they always speak about how he's the best pass rusher on their team.
Mhm.
How though? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but he plays safety. But
Right.
you see what I'm saying? So it doesn't add up right.
Right. Is that what you pay a safety to do? Rush the
Yeah, you,
pass.
you see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like it just I think it gets undermined right there and doesn't give enough respect.
Right. I want to before we get too far here, I did want to speak about Kayvon. I saw
Mm-hmm.
Kayvon over the summer. He
Yep.
reminds me of you. Reminds me of you. Like he
That's
kid that
right.
likes to compete. Played baseball as well. So he's a
Yep.
dual sport athlete. What kind of advice do you try to give him?
Um, I just really just give them the advice of just look, it's cool. I know you're in the era of hype and social media and wanting to be this and wanting to be that, but I just tell them, man, look, just work. All that other stuff is gonna come, dog. And to anybody that don't know, that's my little brother and like blood little brother.
Right.
And I just tell him just work, man. Cause I mean, he's seen my process, he's seen my journey, he's seen everything I've been through. And he wants it just as bad as I wanted it. You know what I mean? And so I just tell him all the time, like, don't get caught up in this hype of, you just gotta post offers, you just gotta post this video. Like,
Mhm.
you don't gotta do it. Like, just work, dog, and it's gonna pay off. And I tell him that all the time, and he listens to me, he trusts me. So, I just hope he continues to stay like that.
Yeah. Do you worry about him? Because like you said, you caught your dad's hype. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Kevin's son. Do you do
Mm-hmm.
you worry about Kayvon facing even more with you? Because you 5-star recruit, All
Yeah,
American.
I do. I told him, I said, look, I said, Dad told me one time, look, just make a name for yourself. Like, you already a Blanding. Everyone knows that last name out there. Everyone in the paper knows it. Everyone around down near the world knows it. Just make a name for yourself. And I told him that when he first got his first offer. I told him, I said, look, I said, you got this offer on your own. You didn't get it because you was my brother. They wanted you. They kept hitting me up about you. Like, you see what I'm saying? They wanted you, not me. They wanted you because of how you're playing right now.
Right.
So you create a name for yourself. Everyone's probably gonna call you my little brother, but nah, you make a name for yourself. And that's what my dad told me. I mean, it was just like, make a name for yourself. And I told him, and I even told a good reporter, Jamie Oates, that been covering me my whole life. I told him, I said, look, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I will answer your questions for you because I know, like, I have a fond respect for you, and you've been covering me my whole life. And I told him, I'm like, look, if y'all want a story from me about him, I'm really not going to do it. I'm not going to say much about him because he got his own story to create, and that's all it's about. And that's how I want him to be, because I don't want him to live in the hype of me, because I know how stressful it was to live in the hype of my father, you know what I mean, and trying to live up to that expectation. But I told him, I said, bro, just be free. Be who you are and just play the game. That's all it's about.
So what you got going on currently? I see more active on social media now, man. So what do you got going on?
I'm doing a lot. Like you said, I've been very active on social media because that's the wave right now. Everyone's on social media, but I'm still training. I train every day. Just I don't post it because I don't need anyone seeing that. I work with cameras off. I don't need them in front of my face. But no, right now I'm just, I'm a very business minded person right now, especially with the off season. I'm very business minded now. I started a podcast that I created a safe space for athletes to come up there and, to allow us to be human again, allow us to get out the space of being an athlete and know that, you're not bigger, you're not better than no one. We're the same people. Once we leave the facility, we're just like a normal day person. And I created that just for the simple fact that I wanted to be free. I wanted to have the opportunity to actually be myself as well. Like, cause I've been in the limelight of just being an athlete, where now it's a chance to really show people who I really am, because that's all it's about. Like, this world is about really showing people who you are as a character and just being fawned upon. Like, you got to think about, look at Juju. Like, I mean, Juju's a good football player, but a lot of stuff comes from his social media things that they see. He does this dance, he does that dance. Let me try this dance. you see what I'm saying? So it's like, this is a way people can really see who I am. And then I also own a recovery trailer, cryotherapy trailer that provides cryotherapy, heat massage, leg compression, Theraguns and all that as well, because, recovery is very important, for athletes and just for everyday life people in general. Like, you need to be about recovery because your body is your temple. Like, if you don't take care of your body now, then if you wait too late, it's just going to start falling apart on you. And then, I'm also just, I've been in the stock market for a while, what I mean? Just, I'm learning new trades. I'm just advancing. I'm not being stagnant. I'm not just sitting around just trying to do nothing with my life. I know football is not forever, and I know I'm setting myself up for the future for myself, honestly. And I'm just having, because you got to have that business mind now. Like, when you're not playing, you got to have that business mind. So that's what I love about the situation I'm in, because I'm in the line of an athlete, but I'm also in the line, like, of a business, like, mentality. Like, I got to know what I want to do when it's all said and done. So, I'm definitely learning every day, learning new trades. And so I'm just growing as a person. And I think that's what it's all about in life.
Yeah. If you could play on any defense, this is probably the last football question I'm asking. Any defense in NFL history, like any year, what defense would you place yourself on?
Honestly, I just go to the Patriots, honestly. Any year,
Any year, Patriots.
any year. That defense just there, and just with Bill Belichick and just that defense is just real. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand. Like, yeah, it was Tom Brady. Tom Brady this, Tom Brady. Yes, I understand that. But that defense really balled out though.
Willie
Like,
McGinnis. You had Willie McGinnis, Richard
yeah,
Seymour.
like think about it. I mean, the Ravens, don't think about it. The Ravens too were tough. They created that radar defense where people just move around. You don't know who's blitzing, you don't know who's coming. Everybody's standing up in your face. D linemen are standing up, and you don't know what's going on. And then out of nowhere, everyone drops back and a whole safety just blitzes out of nowhere. You just never know. But just that defense in New England is just, it's unreal. And I still like it to this day. I mean, shoot. I mean, they didn't put up crazy numbers, but every year before that, they was putting up numbers and numbers and numbers within interceptions, tackles for loss, sacks, forced fumbles, everything. They were just putting up numbers.
Yeah. And you kind of see it the same way with Tampa now. Like you said, quiet as kept. People talk about Tom Brady, but their defense.
Yeah, their defense is solid. Like I love their front seven. They're amazing. Them linebackers there. Whew, if you get past them, then you might be all right. But them boys there, they be flying around.
Yeah. You got a Super Bowl pick?
I just like Tom. Like I like Tom. Like if I wanted the Saints to win, when they played Tampa Bay, but I mean, you just can't bet against that man. I'm sorry, you just can't bet against him. Like it's hard. Yeah. Like don't get me wrong, the Chiefs are amazing. I got a young boy up there, Juan Thornhill. Then I got a guy, Derek Nottie, up there as well. But it's just Tom Brady, man. You can't. It's hard to beat Tom Brady. Like even when the Chiefs beat the Patriots, when Tom Brady was there, it was still a hard game to beat Tom Brady. Like Tom still almost came back and won that game.
Right.
So like
51-45, something like that.
It's hard to beat that man. And I'm going Tom, because he's just that guy. Yeah. Like he's that guy.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Tampa too, but only because I feel like Kansas City has kind of been like
they're too rocky. Yeah, they're too rocky for me.
They kind of been maintaining, but their offense is just so good. It's like
it's great. You can't beat the offense, but you can't beat Tom. I'm sorry. Yeah. Tom is just Tom right now.
Yeah. I think if they can get to about 27, 30 points, they'll win. I think Tampa, if they can get 27, 30, I think they'll win. Because Kansas City ain't scoring no less than probably 27, or something like that. So
something like that. But if I don't know, I think it's gonna be a good game for sure. It's gonna be a good game for sure. But Tom is just Tom. You can't beat Tom.
Question.
You can't beat Tom.
So for anybody that want to follow you or follow your businesses that you have going on, where can they reach you?
They can reach me on Instagram. It's just Quin_Blanding. Twitter is just _QKB_3. I'm on all platforms. I'm on Twitch as well. If you guys want to watch my podcast, I'm on Twitch. It's just Quin Blanding, or twitch.com /Quin Blanding. I also just made a TikTok, dog. Like
I can't imagine you on TikTok.
I'm not doing the little dancing videos. I'm not doing none of that, but it's just gonna be mainly my content for podcasts. I'm gonna clip some funny stuff and then just post it up there. It's a quick way to get viewers. You know what I mean? The people to entertain, and so I just literally just posted a video there, and it's Q Blanding on TikTok as well. I'm just moving. I'm just riding the wave, and I'm just I'm excited for what's next for me. But I'm still gonna be in the league one day. Hopefully this year. So don't worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. You can definitely follow my career there in the NFL as well. But that's where you can reach me. I'm an open guy. I do it all. I'm here for anybody that wants to talk. I do respond to DMs to everybody. Just don't ask me nothing crazy because I might not respond. But I truly respond to everything. Or if you at me, I'll probably definitely respond on Twitter or Instagram. It doesn't matter. I'm a people's person.
Yeah. I got you, man. I definitely appreciate you joining me. Like I said, someone just watched you since you were 13, 14, man. Like it's just amazing to see your growth. And I'm not surprised that you became top safety in the country, but it's just amazing to watch, and just knowing your dad and stuff, man. It's dope. Like I'm proud of you.
Nah, I appreciate you for having me up here. It's a blessing. And, and don't worry, he's going to be on the show too on my podcast as well. So we worked out a little deal together. I do his show, he does my show. So
Appreciate that.
no, but I definitely appreciate you having me up here because it's you're one of the top guys around the way, and like you said, you don't be out here just having cameras in all these kids' faces. And I watched a few episodes already, and he keeps it real up here, and that's what I love about it. It's authentic.
Appreciate it.
You know what I mean? I mean, you ask good questions, but you also have people up here that's gonna keep it real. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, and you don't sugarcoat nothing. So, I appreciate you for having me
we
up
from.
here. And, yeah, I know, and that's why I love it. So I definitely had to support the home team for sure.